$2.9 billion was lost in 2010 because of financial exploitation of older Americans. And in part one of Safeguarding Seniors, we heard from some local victims of elder fraud.
Tonight, News 18's Samantha Tiki joins us with what people should look for to avoid becoming victims and how local agencies are helping to fight elder fraud in our community. Samantha.
Jeff and Gina, elder fraud is a growing crime that has led some victims to lose almost everything without a chance to gain it back. Now the Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office and Adult Protective Services are working to not only help victims, but prevent it from happening in the first place. 91-year-old James Sattler and 70-year-old Ron Getz have lost thousands to the growing epidemic known as elder fraud.
I have no idea how that was arranged, how much of it he was keeping. I have no idea how he spent that money.
Real angry. I mean, I guess he think could get by with it real easy or something.
Sattler and Getz say they are victims of home improvement fraud, one of the many ways the criminals take advantage of their victims financially. Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Pat Harrington says many times once the crime has been committed, it can be almost impossible to catch the criminal.
A lot of these individuals will hit a certain geographical area very quickly, like one county or one part of the county, and they move to another county thinking that they can avoid detection.
But that hasn't stopped the Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office from trying to catch these criminals. The Prosecutor's Office, along with Tippecanoe County Adult Protective Services, works with the community to educate older Americans on elder fraud.
I don't want them to become a victim of a crime. I want them to know what tools they need.
APS has been out in the community speaking to groups of older Americans about the warning signs and how to report elder fraud. Harrington says the presentations have been eye-opening.
As one of our presentations, a person came up and actually reported that he was a victim of one of these financial scams and had been very hesitant to call the police.
Harrington says sometimes the victims are embarrassed and don't report the crime. Sometimes it's just a matter of the victim not having anyone around to help them recognize the warning signs.
They're exploiting that sense of loneliness and being trusting, and they know how to do it because they're professionals at exploitation and taking the person's money.
Some of the warning signs include unusual or inappropriate activity in bank accounts, numerous unpaid bills, missing furniture, jewelry, or other valuables. Harrington says family or friends can play a big role in catching criminals in the act.
If you have a mother or father and they're telling you that the in-home health care giver is running errands for them and going shopping for them, that's a warning sign.
Harrington says preventing elder fraud can be as simple as having a good relationship with your neighbors.
Know who your neighbors are, help them out. If they're elderly, keep an eye on them. Go knock, introduce yourselves. Be a good neighbor for them.
A simple step that could help protect someone you know from becoming a victim of elder fraud.
I don't think these individuals should get probation because they're pros at it. They're not going to stop.
The next Elder Fraud Seminar is scheduled for 5:30 April 22nd at the Tippecanoe County Public Library. If you or a loved one suspect elder fraud, you can report it by calling Tippecanoe County Adult Protective Services. After our report first aired last night, we've heard from state police who tell us an IRS scam is making its rounds as well. In Lafayette, police will have a financial crimes workshop at 5:30 February 17th at the Lafayette Police Training Center. You can get much more information on our website, WLFI.com. Samantha Tiki, News 18.